According to Football.London, the Lewis family have provided Tottenham Hotspur with a fresh £100 million cash injection, with further investment potentially on the way as the club looks to support Roberto De Zerbi and accelerate his plans in the summer transfer market. Tottenham Hotspur fullback Pedro Porro has reaffirmed his commitment to the club, stressing that he is happy in North London and has no desire to seek a move elsewhere, despite recent speculation over his future. Speaking on his YouTube channel on Thursday, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano revealed that Tottenham Hotspur are currently the sole club pursuing a deal for Newcastle United midfielder Sandro Tonali, with no other teams remaining in the race for the Italian international. And Tottenham Hotspur have received a major boost in their efforts to sign West Ham United midfielder Matias Fernandez, with Gimme Sports reporting that Spurs are growing increasingly optimistic about landing the Portuguese star in a deal that could smash the club's transfer record. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, but I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. Football.London report that the Lewis family have injected a further £100 million into Tottenham Hotspur, with additional funding expected to follow as the club looks to back Roberto De Zerbi and pursue its ambitious summer transfer plans. A fresh cash injection comes through ENIC, Tottenham's majority shareholders and owners, and it is understood to be part of a wider commitment from the Lewis family to strengthen the club's finances and support long-term sporting success. Sources close to the ownership group indicate that more capital could be made available if required. The move follows a similar £100 million investment made in October 2025, meaning Spurs have now received £200 million in owner funding within 9 months. Club executives view the latest investment as a sign of the owner's determination to help the club compete at the highest level, both on and off the pitch. The timing is significant, arriving during a crucial transfer window in which Tottenham are attempting to reshape their squad under De Zerbi. The club have been linked with several high-profile targets, including Newcastle United midfielder Sandro Tonali, although negotiations for the Italian are expected to be difficult. Football.London reports that the latest funding should not be viewed as an unlimited transfer war chest, but it does provide the club with greater flexibility as they pursue key targets and continue wider development projects around the stadium and training ground. The investment also underlines the Lewis family's continued commitment to Spurs amid recurring speculation surrounding the club's ownership. Despite periodic takeover interest, the owners remain focused on backing the current leadership team and supporting the club's long-term growth strategy. Sport Witness report that Tottenham Hotspur defender Pedro Porro has insisted he feels comfortable at the club and was never interested in a move away. Marca cover comments from the 26-year-old today from the World Cup, where he's part of Luis de la Fuente's Spain squad. The fullback is able to fully focus on the summer tournament after already sorting out his club future with a new deal at Spurs. The defender signed a new deal with Roberto De Zerbi's side earlier this month, extending until 2031. That also includes an option for another year. It put a quick end to any speculation about his future at the club following a difficult season for Spurs. He was one of several big names at the club linked with potential departure following their closely fought battle against relegation this season. Instead, he's staying for at least another 5 years, and he insists that stability makes him very happy. Yes, I'm very happy, he said, when asked if it gives him peace of mind. It was a place where I felt very comfortable, and now I can focus entirely on what needs to be done. He also insists that he never saw Tottenham as being on the decline. Their fight against relegation this season came after a finishing 17th last season and had prompted talk of a mass exodus of some senior players in the summer. Porro, though, insists it was never that way and never seen that way. In fact, he was never listening to any of the noise from the outside. He said, "I never saw it that way. My mindset was to see it through, whatever it took. Every day I went to training thinking about helping the club get out of that situation because I felt it was my responsibility. I also thought exactly the opposite. That's what I say when people think it's secondary. At the end of the day, it's you yourself who works and lives with that situation. There will always be people who think well or badly of you. I prefer to stick with the people who love me." Speaking on his YouTube channel on Thursday, Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano reported that Tottenham are now the only team left in the race for Newcastle star Sandro Tonali. The Italian and his agents have made it clear to those on Tyneside that they want to leave this summer, but it could be Spurs or nothing, according to Romano, with other suitors no longer interested. "I'm not coming here mentioning Man City, I'm not coming here mentioning other clubs. Since I told you Tonali to Tottenham last week, the other clubs are no longer mentioned. Let's follow the situation, but the deal is on," is what Fabrizio Romano said. Tonali had been linked with City, Arsenal and Manchester United in recent weeks, but it appears North London is calling for the former Milan star. Spurs have already seen their £80 million bid rejected, with Newcastle seeking close to £100 million and Transfer Market value him at €69 million, a figure which has nearly doubled since he's moved to Tyneside. The 26-year-old earns £120,000 a week currently, which places him just outside of Newcastle's top earners. And Tottenham Hotspur have reportedly been given encouragement in their pursuit of West Ham United midfielder Matias Fernandez, with Gimme Sport claiming the club are increasingly confident of completing what could become a record-breaking transfer for Spurs. The report states that Spurs have received a significant boost in negotiations as they continue discussions over a deal for the highly rated Portuguese international. Roberto De Zerbi is understood to be a huge admirer of Fernandes and sees the 21-year-old as a key part of his long-term plans in North London. Fernandes has emerged as one of Tottenham's top midfield priorities this summer, of course alongside Sandro Tonali. While Spurs continue to explore both deals, there is growing optimism that progress is being made in their pursuit of the West Ham United midfielder. According to the report, Tottenham are prepared to invest heavily to secure Fernandes' signature, with a potential fee likely to exceed the club's current transfer record. Spurs' highest ever transfer fee remains the £60 million paid for Richarlison in 2022, meaning any deal in the region of West Ham's reported 80 to 85 million valuation would comfortably set a new benchmark. Competition for Fernandes remains fierce. Manchester United have long been considered strong contenders for the midfielder, while other elite European clubs have also monitored his situation following West Ham's relegation. However, recent reports suggest that Tottenham have accelerated their efforts and are now making serious headway in talks. Spurs believe their willingness to offer a larger transfer package, as well as improved personal terms, could prove decisive in winning the race. In fact, sources have indicated to Team Talk that the player has given his full green light to press forward with a transfer after accepting their proposal on personal terms. There is also confidence within the club that De Zerbi's project and the promise of a central role in the team could help persuade Fernandes to choose Tottenham over rival suitors. Fernandes enjoyed an impressive campaign despite West Ham's struggles, establishing himself as one of the Premier League's standout young midfielders. His performances have made him one of the most sought-after players on the market, and West Ham are expected to demand a substantial fee before agreeing to any sale. With fresh funding recently injected into the club by the Lewis family and De Zerbi receiving strong backing from the Tottenham hierarchy, the North London side appear prepared to make a major statement in the transfer market. Should an agreement be reached, Fernandes would become one of the most expensive signings in Spurs history. In fact, the most expensive signing and a cornerstone of the club's midfield rebuild. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, this £100 million cash injection by the Lewis family. Well, you have to give credit where credit's due. It's long overdue, let's be honest, but they said they were going to be investing and they've ploughed in another £100 million. That adds to the £100 million that was put in, was it last year? So look, at least they're figuratively, I suppose, putting their money where their mouth is. It does. Look, I'm going to actually reserve judgment on this until the players are holding up the shirt, because we've seen it all before. We've been here before where you've read reports where the team is, or the club is, pursuing deals, and they can't get the deal done for one reason or another. And you get the transfer window wrap video where saying it's difficult, the deal was difficult to do, and we've heard it all before. So I'm gonna do a transfer window wrap video myself, I think, at the end, and rate Tottenham's transfer window, because, as I say, we've heard it all before. But the £100 million injection by ENIC and the owners is certainly a good start. Not that £100 million, of course, gets you a lot of player. I've got a lot of quality player at the moment. It's probably 1.5 players, really, isn't it, at the moment? But Spurs have done some clever transfer business already. We just need those big names to come in, like your Tonalis and the Fernandes. So let's see how that one goes. The Porro report, that was good to hear. Of course, it's easy to say after the fact, and the fact we didn't get relegated, that Porro would have been staying regardless. I mean, whether you believe that or not, again, that's personal views on that, isn't it? But Porro said he was never leaving anyway. So I find it difficult to believe had we been relegated, but look, you just don't know. But the fact is, Porro is here. He signed a new deal. He seems very happy at Spurs, and more importantly, he seems very happy under Roberto De Zerbi, as do a lot of the players. We've heard a lot of the players come out and with glowing reports about the training sessions, and De Zerbi himself, Mickey van der Ven for one, said he really enjoys playing under De Zerbi. So don't underestimate the draw of Roberto De Zerbi, I suppose. And, these players that want to come and play for him, like, if we can get that Tonali deal done, obviously they come from the same region in Italy. That's a huge pull, believe it or not, that they come from that same region. So the De Zerbi factor is definitely going to be a huge thing in this transfer window. Players want to actually come to Spurs now to play under our coach, which is great news. But going back to Porro, I'm very pleased Porro signed that new deal. I think he's a very, very good right back. Yeah, he had some dodgy games last season, but his delivery is one of the best in the Premier League from that position, in my opinion. And I just hope we get a few more free kicks in and around the box, and perhaps Porro and Maddison can fight it out next season and score us a few free kicks, because I don't think we scored many last year, did we? Tonali, Spurs or nothing. Well, look, hopefully this is true. Fabrizio Romano is pretty steadfast in his views on this and what he reports. There was a lot of noise about Tonali. I read a load of rubbish last night on X. So, drown out the noise. I would say just listen to reputable people on this. Hearing rumours that Spurs went back in, phoned up Newcastle, basically contacted them and said, we're not offering any more money, but do you want to reconsider? I'm not sure. I just can't see that happening. I can't see that happening. Even with the way we do our transfer business, I just can't see that happening. Look, I could be wrong, but come on. Just the point of putting a story out there which is ridiculous in my opinion. But look, Tonali, I think, fingers crossed this deal gets done, but, it proves, with Manchester City signing players in the past and already this transfer window, they just go in, they pay the money and get the deal done, and it's done quickly. Seem to be dilly-dallying a little bit with this Tonali thing. Let's hope that they get this deal over the line, because it gets all the supporters back on side, and it really sends out a message to the rest of the Premier League that Spurs really mean business this year. So let's hope we get that Tonali deal done. And full green light for Fernandes. Again, this is separate from the Tonali deal, but it's the same type of deal, isn't it? It's the same type of deal in that Spurs have got to spend a lot of money to get a quality player. Are they going to do it? It looks like Fernandes is keen again to play under De Zerbi and come to Tottenham, but let's see how this one goes. Again, it's been rattling on for a couple of weeks now, isn't it? So let's hope that Spurs can get this deal tied up as well, and that would really show intent from the owners and the board, and make us all think that, perhaps we are doing things slightly differently now. That's all from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know how you're feeling as a Tottenham Hotspur fan right now, and as always, come on you Spurs.